Hello, hello. Wow, my hair is getting very yellow these days. I think it's kind of time for a change. Welcome to November pull and election day tarot pull as well. Hope you guys are feeling grounded, finding some time for yourself during this really chaotic time. I know things could feel really uncertain, but we do. There's so many different, I guess, perspectives and angles we can think about what's going on right now, especially as it relates to the election itself. But I won't get into, the nitty gritty details, but all that I can say is hopefully, whatever the turnout is, we can kind of, not move towards a less divisive stance. But yeah, anyway, so let's get started. I just came back from voting. And surprisingly wasn't super busy, but it's sometimes a bit much thinking about what's going to happen next. So let's start by getting a little grounded. I have these tuning forks here to kick us off, and just a moment for some grounding. Oops. All right, so a couple things also before we get started. It's November. Crazy to think that we've reached this point already, and not only is it November, it's election day. So I wanted to share my latest tarot poll that I did for November just a couple days ago, because there were some really interesting messages and it resonated a lot with what I'm going through currently. So here we go. I did a 3-card pull for November. I guess you can start any, spread with any intention that you have. Oh, hello, Zara. How are you doing? It's been a moment. I hope you're having a great day and staying grounded with all this chaos happening currently. I know it's kind of a weird time, very strange time. But yeah, I hope, things are okay on your end. So I want to spend today going over a November poll and maybe setting an intention for, election day, since it's a really big day. Have had, we're bombarded by a lot of media for the past year or so. And it's really easy to get wrapped up in all these different stories, perspective, feeling a lot of hatred or divisiveness. I've been also getting outside for some sun, doing a little movement, did a nice hot yoga class this morning, and hoping to maybe dance it off later. I won't be tuning into the whole election stuff, I don't think. I'd rather, spend some time going inward. I won't get too much into the political stuff and my stance. I don't even know how I totally feel about everything happening right now. It feels tough, challenging. Anyway, so I'll quickly do the November poll. This was really around, things that I would like to focus on this coming month. What are some skills that I could bring into this, and what's calling me, or how can I bring in some more healing. And if you see this spread, it's interesting because I usually do a whole spread individually and I go through each card, but because I already pulled this, I'll go through cards collectively, or individually and collectively. I didn't dye my hair. To be honest, the dye that I've had is just like slowly growing out. I'm not a huge fan of it right now. Funny enough, I used to always have blue hair, like blue and gray. So this color, being like the brassness that it is at the moment, is not my favorite. And I noticed on stream today when I got on, I was like, oh my God, it's time. I've been trying to grow my hair out because I was dyeing my hair a lot. So just really needed to take a break since it's been like a few years. But I think today is my calling. It's very clear that I miss, my blue and gray hair. So you may see that soonish. We'll see. So yeah, about, pulling these cards for November. It was really, really interesting insights, I have to say, because you see a few of these right now. You'll see the Eight of Swords. This person is tied up. Nice. Yay. This person is tied up, blindfolded, and surrounded by a bunch of swords. It's very clear that it's feeling like restriction. It's feeling stuck, and really a calling to like, how can I become a little more unstuck? It was interesting because I also then pulled the Magician when I was asking for tools to move forward with, or things that I can utilize. And classic Magician. I mean, I feel like we've gone through this card like many times, but the Magician, as you can see, has all the different suits on his table. This is, showing that there's a lot of different tools on his tool belt. It's just really a matter of like, which direction does this person want to, or do I want to go in? And, the red robe that he's wearing represents knowledge. So all the knowledge and all the tools exists already. It also represents creativity. So you can see that, using all of this different skill sets that, let's just say in first tense that I have, can really explore some more creativity. And so that's really calling me because I set an intention before my birthday that happened recently. I'm an early Scorpio, and it was around after Halloween, because Halloween's very big for me, to start to do a little more creative, like tap back into my creative juices. For example, during Halloween, I do, host a pretty nice, fun Halloween costume party. And I typically start crafting a lot around this time. And it's not something that I do all year round, but getting in this mode and feeling like a sense of like ease and flow while doing this, and also a sense of happiness, made me realize how much I love crafting. So, this card was a super big reminder that I really need to tap back into my creativity. So I do have a project that's top of mind after this crazy month of Scorpio birthdays that I have. I'm also heading out on a trip at the end of this month over Thanksgiving. But when I come back, and maybe during this cold winter that we're expecting, to really tap into this new creative project that I'm thinking about. And then this last card was the 10 of Wands. Again, wands, could be, well, it's related to fire, the element of fire, around inspiration or spirituality. But as you can see, it also could just be ideas, sparking new ideas. As you can see, this 10 is usually a sign of completion. But you can also see this person's like holding a lot. And because I pulled this card in reverse, the way that I saw this was like, I don't actually have to try to do it all. I have all these fun ideas, and, I tend to get kind of really in my head about how to pursue what's next. But really, it's like, just focus. And that I really don't have to do it all. So that was a really nice spread for myself. I hope, that you guys also find some, let's just say, I don't want to say grounding again, but some grounding, inspiration, or whatever you need to call in this month, especially given that we have some crazy things happening right now. We also have something in the planetary movement. I'd say, there's this whole thing around Pluto, and how Pluto's been kind of going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. And so right after this election, I believe like sometime next week is when Pluto officially goes into Aquarius for like 20 something years or something crazy like that. Maybe even longer, actually. I have to fact check that. But if you're familiar with Pluto likes to disrupt things quite a bit. It's also a planet of change, transformation. So really, really, also if you think of Pluto's also connected to Scorpio. And so, yes, there's a lot of things happening. Pluto moving to Aquarius is like, whatever happens during this time is going to really progress us into something like a new era. So I'm really curious to see how the next weeks or so will go. I actually need to check this now. When does Pluto go into Aquarius? Because the timing is really interesting. Okay. Okay, November 19th. And it will stay in Aquarius until March 8th, 2043. So we got about close to 20 years for this transit. And again, Pluto's also a like collective planet. So this is a big collective shift. Wow, I'm getting chills actually talking about this. This is going to be a really big collective shift. Potentially a shift in power, equality, technology. Aquarians, it's a big technological advancement. So really, really interesting. I'm so curious to know how this is going to play out. But yes, November 19th is when this happens. So let's see, we have election starting, tonight. Things will probably get very rocky up until then. But let's see what happens. Cool. So I wanted to take a moment, maybe. Yes, thank you for commenting on the tuning forks. They are very lovely. I can actually, maybe before we even do this election poll, do another round of just tuning, just quickly to kind of get us a little more grounded. I'm very interested in what messages next can be received, especially since the next poll will be election related. So I'm going to switch back to a different scene. Actually, I'll just keep this scene for now. It's not a big deal. All right. Wow, that was really nice. I have to say, I had to do it 4 times because someone in this plant medicine community that I'm a part of shared this beautiful, beautiful write up today about the number four. Um, for example, the four suits in tarot, we have the wands, the pentacles, the wands, pentacles, swords, and cups. We also have the 4 phases of the moon. There are also four. I mean, I grew up Catholic, so this one I was like, whoa, interesting. The 4 disciples who, or let's just say the apostles who wrote in the Bible. 4, I think there's something related to Judaism, and 4, there's a lot, around the number 4. So, kind of wanted to honor that today. I numerology is something I'm like totally fascinated about, and have been trying to do a little more understanding on my end of like life path number and how that resonates or how that translates for myself. So maybe something we'll talk about sometime once I gain a little more knowledge there. Cool. So I'm just gonna do. I mean, I'll start with a single card pull, and if it really pulls us into something else, maybe I'll do a little more. But I kind of wanted to focus this around the election, and just a general message. Like, we don't always have to ask about like what, tell me about this, but maybe just a general message about the situation. So here we go. Hey, welcome. Yeah, let's see. Should be really interesting. I usually stop there in my shuffling, but today I feel a big calling to kind of make this a little messy. It is chaotic at the moment, so maybe just leaning into the uncertainty, but also maybe, yeah, I just wanted to do something a little different. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, it's been a while since I've actually gotten this card, and this was also reversed, but um, this is the Nine of Cups. The nine, so cups related to emotions, related to relationships, can be related to creativity. And nine is like close to completion. So 10 is really when, the cycle ends up completing. As you can see here, this person is sitting on a bench and kind of just, okay, what do you guys think about arms being crossed? I think that arms being crossed typically means you're like holding out on something. You're kind of a little reserved. You're, and this person is also, let's say, sitting on a bench, like waiting for something. Um, yeah, that's also an interesting thought. Or the cycle of craziness, or let's just say, is coming to completion. We're so close to that end of the cycle, right? Um, and you can see that the cups are like surrounding this person as they're holding out, waiting. Um, Oh, yeah. Okay. That's an interesting thought too. A sense of looking back at accomplishment. Yeah, you can see it as like an observation. And like everything that we've gone through together. I mean, I guess if we were to look at this as like a sense of like, I don't know, relationships, the things going on in the world, the collective emotional response or our emotions. Um, it's like emotionally this is like a really big build up. But if you are looking back as a sense of accomplishment or looking back to see, all that we've gone through together. I mean, really think about this because this is an interesting thought. And thank you, Hazy Herblet. Because we have gone through a lot together. Like if you really think about the pandemic that happened, we that was a crazy hurdle. We've also had some, it's been a lot. I mean, with the war going on, with other things, and but we are still very strong. I think we're kind of maybe this is really tapping into how strong we are collectively and how can we move past, all of this crazy divisiveness that we have going on. How can we look at one of each other with a sense of love and compassion rather than, hey, you have to understand how I think about this. It's a lot. So I do see this as a positive card. And actually, as a reverse, I think it also is a call. Oh, sorry, is a call to go inward. Because I find that, with all this crazy chaos, and maybe, I talked about this in the beginning, the crazy chaos that's going on, the best thing that we can do is I don't want to say focus on ourselves, but in a way, yes, it's really working on finding peace within ourselves so we can actually radiate that peace for everyone else and everyone around us and not have this sense of blame and hatred. And so I think it is a call to, again, look back. Thank you for that insight. I love that. And kind of focus on going inward. Yeah, self care is really big. It's very important. I feel like, we tend to overlook it sometimes because life is really crazy. So I think, this is a very interesting pull. I think I mean, it's funny because, tarot is like, I see it as a big self reflection tool. You can use it to kind of like analyze the future or things that you can look forward to. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned a few moments ago, we do have a really big shift, planetary shift, in the next 2 weeks or so, with Pluto moving into Aquarius for like 20 years. So whatever is happening now, I think will actually be a positive change. I mean, can you think of anything as like a negative thing? Every let's just say negative or challenge that we have always propels us into something super, super positive. So, anyway, whatever happens, regardless if it's in the favor that you're hoping, let's stay super positive that we can come together however however that may be, and really lean into this shift because Aquarius is can be a lot, and but very, very, let's just say, exciting, and could really mean that there's a coming together in terms of collectiveness. So that's really what I'm hoping. Whatever happens, will bring this upon us rather than kind of divide us. So, yeah. Hopefully that was helpful. I hope you guys. This was kind of a short one for me. I have like a lot going on today. With work and everything. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and spend some time for yourself, going inward, meditating, having some level of movement, spending time in nature, however you find grounding, regardless of what happens. And thank you so much for joining. I'll chat soon. I'll be back again next week. Ciao. You too, Zara. So nice to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day.